Fuck. I'm live now. Can you see my screen? Oh, that's weird. I can't see it. It'll usually give me a link right here. Okay. Always having technical issues. Okay. Always having technical issues. Huh, the date didn't change. I'm just gonna give it a few minutes to let everybody join in. Is the picture clear for everybody? Okay. Can I maximize? Yeah, this isn't. We're not going to be looking at this screen. We're going to be here. All right. So in no particular order, I'm going to go through. I have 5 stocks for the watch list tomorrow. So as always, I will start off with SPY, and we'll go over what I feel like we're gonna do here, um, and then I'll go over the watch list, and then at the end we'll open up the floor to questions for anybody. So on SPY, actually, let's just go to the future / yes. Okay. So here is what I see. Today obviously we range traded here today, from whatever that pre-market jump up. We had that, like, I think we just started off red and then had that whatever that fake news come out and popped us way up here, and then we came back down, for like a little double bottom here and went back up, but and we had this triple top and then ended right in the middle. So what this did for us was create this nice range right here, right? Um, so what I have done, I've set an alert here at 3020, and an alert, well, that should be lower, and an alert for 3005. I feel like if we break above or below those two areas, that will give us our direction overall for the day on SPY. So for the watch list, the first stock that I was looking at was TWLO. So what I like to do is I like to always start my analysis on the 1-day chart, and then I move into the 5-minute chart. I answered this question earlier in the off-topic chat with a lot more detail, so feel free to check that out whenever you get the chance. What I like about this stock, though, is that it's historically, kind of used like the 200 EMA as a support line, and we've recently broken below that. Um, and I don't ever really look at the RSI and MACD unless unless the RSI is like oversold or overbought, right? So what we have here is like an oversold RSI that's starting to curl up, and if you see the MACD, it's also starting to curl. Um, just that alone has me interested in this stock because it kind of tells me, okay, well, we're starting to get some upward motion here. So if I jump into the 5-minute chart, you can see I've already drawn it out. We have a gap right here, and that gap is almost a $10 gap from 115 to 123 or so. That tells me that we have like a lot of upside potential, right? And we've also been range trading here in those zones. And anytime we're range trading, if we close at like the top of one of these zones, which we had like a little bit of a sell-off here at the end of the day, but if we close at like the top of one of these zones, I like to look at this stock for like a move into the gap area, and then start to kind of fill this gap. So that's what I'll be looking at for tomorrow. I think the level that I drew out immediately, well, as of now, of course, I always update these trigger levels um, prior to market open. But as of now, I think it would be safe to say maybe a long over 115 here, which will be the top of this range, even maybe 115.50 150 or 115.75, just to kind of make sure that we get over this little hump here. And then we have this consolidation period too. So that could be like another area of resistance, and a short below 110. And that may seem like a big range, but like I said, these stocks will move pre-market and after hours. So it depends really. If we open up here, I'll be looking to take it long. If we open up somewhere down here, I may be looking to take this thing short. I think I'm leaning long biased on this stock though. I like the fact that we have room like right up to like I'd probably say 118. 118 probably be the profit target for this stock, just under this blue line here, which is the 200 EMA. The next stock that I was looking at was Apple. It's um, been in the news recently with their iPhone, with the iPhone release. Um, So interestingly, I actually looked at the weekly chart for Apple. If it'll load. Maybe I should have went wired. Technical difficulties. I'm running on wireless right now off my laptop, so okay. There we go. Wow, that took forever. All right, so the weekly. This is where I drew my resistance line right across the top here from the weekly chart. And so like that these resistance lines, right? They're not always just like a straight clear cut line. It's typically like a resistance zone, right? Um, Somebody posted historically that when these events come out for Apple, such as them releasing a new phone, that they pop up and then they get shorted down like the next couple of days. That's what I feel like we're gonna do here. I don't know. Um, I said that over 115 or 215, we can see 220, and that's like exactly what we did. But I didn't expect us to go all the way. What are we up? What are we up to? 220, 227. Yeah, I just don't feel like there's any reason um, for this stock to be that high. I mean, what is the news? Apple comes out with a new phone like every year, every 2 years, right? Um, so just with that in mind, I feel like this thing should come down a little bit. And we already started to do that like right at the close. Okay. Um, so I'll be leaning bearish on this name. Um, just looking at the chart real quick, I see a line here at 222. So maybe ideally, maybe we open up like somewhere just above 222, and I'd like to take it short below 222, and that gives us about a $4 profit margin. And you take profits at 20%, but of course, like I don't know, maybe a $2 move will be plenty enough profit, depending on the contracts that you buy. I wouldn't even, I don't even think I would take this stock long, honestly. Uh, if I were to take it long, it'd probably be closer to like 227. But as of now, yeah, we'll see if we open up here. Um, yeah, definitely like 227 level. But I really don't think we will. I think, in fact, we'll probably open up lower than that, in which case the secondary level might be right around probably this breakout area where this volume picked up, so 220.50. But yeah, I'll be looking for a short on Apple. PayPal. Okay, good. That chart loaded. PayPal was the third stock that I had on watch for tomorrow. Same thing. This thing is kind of like uses the 200 EMA, and for a while it was using like this 50 EMA, which is this dotted green line. But it's been using this 200 EMA as a support zone, and we came down, bounced here, went up, came down, bounced here. Now we're going back up. We had this like big red candle here where we sold off, and this is like kind of similar to TWLO, except for we got into this gap. We're already into like this gap area. And I'll show you that. This right here is that gap area, and that's a $6 gap there. That's the reason why this name was on the watch list today. And it even climbed up during what was it, 105.50 was the trigger to take this thing long, and even climbed up pre-market here. We didn't quite break out of this ascending triangle, but we did when we pushed up today. We did hold these gains, and I like to see that. So I'm thinking definitely for this stock, it'd be a long over 108. That's pretty clear cut. Yeah, that's over this little hump right here, and I don't see any resistance. Even if I go back into the daily, I just don't see any resistance here at 108. Well, other than this candle. So if we did get over 108, we have a chance to push up at least to this 50 EMA, if not further, and try to fill this entire gap here. And I'm looking at probably a short below 106, 106.50. Yeah, so that would be right here at the bottom of this like double bottom here and this wick here. So 106.50 looks good for the short on this name with a long above 108. Another thing that I liked was that this volume right here started to pick up today. Everybody's favorite, Shopify. This thing has got a history of making big moves, and it didn't come down like quite as far as we thought it would, but it did come down quite a bit. So just historically looking back, okay, it's been right bouncing off to 50 EMA, bounce off to 50 EMA, bounce off to 50 EMA, and we came down and we started to bounce like right around the 50 EMA. If I go into the 5-minute chart, again, a similar situation. We range traded today, so this stock would have been like all of this chop right here. This isn't worth trading. But what that does is sets us up for a larger move either way for the next day. So just immediately looking at this, right off of this resistance here, this support here, and resistance today, I would look to take this stock long above 360, and of course a short below 350. $10 range here. That's nothing for this stock. And we kind of like we're right close to the middle ish here. So yeah, depending on if we open up here, I'll be looking to take it long. If we open up closer to the bottom, I'll be looking to short this name. You can see why I chose 350 though, right? This resistance and that support. And Alibaba. This is almost an A+ setup. It just doesn't have as much volume as I would like, but I've been looking. I've seen this pattern setting up for like 2 weeks now, and I've really been waiting for it to get close to this 180 level. I've posted this chart, I think, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times for the group. So today, we've been making higher lows like recently, right? And we have like this ascending triangle pattern. So like up, down, up, down, up. And we're finally like we tapped it today and then came back down and closed below this 180 level. It set off my alert and I got excited for a second, but I didn't think it had the power to push through. But I like that it didn't because that sets us up for a move tomorrow, right? So what I like about this though is that if you combine this like ascending triangle on the daily chart and we jump into the 5-minute chart, Look at what we have here. We have like this nice. I can't even go as far as max that. It's like this nice ascending triangle formation, right? And even after hours, we kind of broke out above it. So a long for me on this name would be over 180 is where my initial alert would be. We tapped 180.50 today, but I think we'll blow right through that. So yeah, long over 180. If you want to be safer, take it long over 180.50. And I'd probably short it. Yeah, I would short it right here at 178. Now keep in mind, all of these levels are just drawn as of now. Obviously, if we open lower than that, I'll probably adjust that level down to 176. But just looking, 178, we have resistance, resistance, resistance here. We broke out big above that and then kind of like tapped it here as a support. Even here, hit it as a resistance. And, well, those didn't really count. But, yeah, I would say 178 is a nice level as of now to take this thing short. 180 is a nice way to take this thing long. I don't know. I don't know what our profit target would be. I mean, this thing has room to go. It just depends on the volume. You know, if the volume's there, we may be able to push up to 185 or so. We'll see. We'll see if the volume comes in, and of course, it's going to depend on SPY/ES. So, as of now, it's looking all right. Yeah. You know, I don't know, with it being Friday, and Friday's typically lower volume, I wouldn't be surprised to see a sell-off, but we've been surprised before, right? So who knows? Maybe we just blow through and make new highs. Anyways, I'm gonna open up the floor to any questions that you guys may have on stocks, any tickers you want me to look at, analyze real quick. Alpha AI call out for one. Oh, is there? Yeah. So okay. All right, Tiffany. CVS and CTL. I actually saw. I looked at CTL earlier from your call out. In fact, you guys should go over to you guys that posted in member signals earlier. You should go over to chart practice. I posted a bunch of charts going over a few of those signals. Just what I thought. Okay, CVS. CVS was my when I first started trading. CVS was my biggest loss. That's actually like part of the reason I quit swing trading. I think I lost like 1,500, and it was over the period of like 3 weeks too. So I just kept watching it go down, and like it's CVS, no way it's gonna keep going down, and it did. So I don't know. Eventually, I just sold, and I think I might have cried for a little bit or something. But no, it's okay. So CVS, just immediately, I'll show you what I see. We are at resistance right now. So there's a gap there too. Oh, that was earnings. That's why. Yeah. So CVS, yeah, look, we hit that mark and then came down. But we have like this cup that started to form, right? And then we hit this resistance. And what makes this a resistance line is that we consolidated here and then broke out. And then when we came down, when we gap down here, like that's right where we gap down to. I think the wick is even. Yeah, the wick is right on 65. So CVS, I wouldn't expect this to break through. I would kind of like, okay, goes up and it broke over the 200 EMA. I would look for it to pull back and then maybe rip through if it's got the momentum. Oh, and CVS, I don't think I would day trade that. I mean, yeah, I don't think I'd day trade it. I think I would swing trade that. CTL. Oh, this is a lower cap stock. I don't know what's the catalyst. It's picking up volume. Um, yeah, I mean these things can just keep going. What does this history look like? So with like lower cap stocks, the penny mark or the $1 mark, the whole dollar mark, and the half-dollar mark are really huge areas of support and resistance. So I would immediately say right there at 14 is your resistance. Yeah, I would look for this to be. I would look to for this to maybe push up to 14, and then I'd short it there. But I don't know. I don't really trade these too much. TTD and Coop. I looked at both of those today too. TTD, same thing. So a lot of these stocks, ever since like I think somebody posted about a sector rotation, a lot of these stocks have done that. That were like previously using the 50 EMA as a support. They broke down, hit this 200 EMA, and now they've started to curl back up. This is not quite TTD is not quite oversold, but it's close. So like a lot of people may look at this. There's two things I see here. First, I see a really large gap. Is that 232 to 220? That's like a $12 gap, right? I mean, it even came down lower. But I also see this, and that's a bear flag. So, and these candles, right? Like these candles are not bullish candles at all. So this could easily come down here and then just completely blow through this 200 EMA. Jumping into the 5-minute chart though, I would take it long, probably above 220. Actually, yeah, it depends on where we open. I might even because there's enough profit here. There's enough of a margin here to take profit. So I would maybe say like 216.50. You could take it long and ride it up to 220. And a short, I'd say like 211.50. If you want to be really safe, wait till like 208. Netflix and Roku. Netflix. Oh man, I looked at this one today too. I think it has I don't know. I think it has potential to really go either way, but it's kind of primed for a big move. This is a falling wedge pattern. I've already drawn it out. This right here is a falling wedge. So like it just keeps getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and then like eventually what might happen is it's just gonna blow through, right? But that news with Roku continuously being upgraded, and I think Disney announced their streaming, and Apple has announced their streaming. Netflix is like it's been shorted to the dirt. So um, this is just too much chop right here for me to say it's worth trading. I'd like to see it break out above probably even above like this 21 EMA right here on the 1-day chart. I never use this indicator on the 1-day chart, but it's been acting as a resistance. So I do see it starting to like curl right here. So maybe it has potential, but I would rather be safe and wait for confirmation than try to jump the gun and like catch a falling knife and this thing just come right back down. If you do want to trade it though, I'd say like over 292. I actually have an alert set here. Over 292, I would be interested in taking it long. over below 280, 287.50. I would look to short it. Roku, yeah, I see two things here. I see this gap, right, where it's made like a large move down, but I also see another bear flag. So I think that this is like way like 176. That's just ridiculous. That's too overpriced for this stock. Even though it does like had like 6 upgrades in the past like 8 months or something. I still feel like it's just like it got too much hype. You know, too many people were talking about it, and it just kept running up and running up and running up. So I think it has room to come back down and test this 50 EMA. In all honesty, in fact, I have an alert. I think I have an alert set right here. Yeah, at 143. Um, yeah, just looking at this chart, even below 145, I would look to start shorting this thing. I wouldn't even give you a long trigger on this because I doubt that it's going to go. I mean, it could, but I don't think it'll go back up to 176. It needs a little bit of a pullback, right? Professional gap. Disney and VMW. And those will be the last two. Yeah, Disney's doing that. Disney's doing the chopping around, chopping around. In all honesty, I'd like to see it come down to 130 so I can get in it and add this to my long-term portfolio. I think Disney goes up from here, though. I don't know if it continues up like like this, but I think I think it's a grinder. I think it's going to keep going up from here. Um, yeah. So we had this gap here, and we pretty much filled that gap today, and came down. We held most of the gains. So a short for me would be below 137 if I'm day trading this, and a long will be right above this high here, 138.70. And what was the last one? VMW. It's got lower volume. Mm, it's in an overall downtrend. Currently trading below the 200 EMA and hit the 50 EMA today and came down. I would say on the long side, it has room to like 160, just below this 200 EMA. I don't know. Don't think it gets there. Maybe. Yeah. So see it pushed up and then it started to come down. I think if anything, you might see like one. I think tomorrow it may consolidate some more before making another move. A long would be right above 156, and I would probably take this short. 153. Yep. It does have lower volume though, so I don't even know if this is like. I don't know if that's worth the trade, but you'd have to look at the spreads. In fact, there's an inverted head and shoulders right here too. See it there, there, and there. So maybe it does have room. Maybe it does have the momentum to keep going up. But that's all that I got, guys. So I hope this helped you out and you're able to create more of an idea of a plan for the watch list. If you're new to the group, check out the pinned message to the main chat room to get an idea of how I trade my watch list, what the trigger levels mean. If you're not sure what long and short means, there's a YouTube video posted in the YouTube videos section that will help explain that. I also posted a video today on vertical spreads that I think some of you guys who swing trade should look into, right? So it's a way to like really reduce your risk and increase your chances of success with swing trading. And like a vertical spread is the easiest option strategy to understand. So plus it's the basis for a lot of other strategies. Anyways, check those videos out. Check that pinned message out. Like and subscribe to this channel and this video if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you guys in chat tomorrow. Oh, can you go over the strategy on how to enter your watch list? Some team members are having. No, I look at price action and trigger levels. It's just all about price action and trigger levels for me. So I like to wait. I like to wait for the 5-minute candle to close above or below. Sometimes like like on PayPal, right? If I were to wait for this 5-minute, like I think the long trigger was above 105.50. But I'm seeing this pre-market that it's already starting to grind up. We open up pre-market and this thing just takes off, right? So if I'm looking to get an entry, like I see it's like already opening up close to the 105.50. It's already opening up close to the trigger. I would probably be on the 1-minute chart and waiting. Like I'd see, okay, there's the push up. I'm not going to buy it there right at open, right? I might wait a couple of minutes, pull back. Okay, it's holding. There's the green, another green candle. Like I might enter like right on this candle for confirmation. Typically, I would use like the 1-minute chart and the 5-minute chart simultaneously if the trigger is blown through. So say the trigger is 105.50. And it's just completely blown through, right? Like you want to enter on the 1-minute chart, not the 5-minute chart, because it gives you a better idea of like where these pullbacks will be at. Otherwise, you're waiting until this thing hits like 106.20, which is already almost $1 over. And even this candle, this wick went all the way up here. Like you're waiting 5, 10, 15 minutes to enter before before this thing makes another move. So yeah, I would use like the 1-minute chart and the 5-minute chart simultaneously. It had something pulled up like this where I'm viewing two of them at the same time. And that's for if the stock is like that trigger level is blown through by the 5-minute candle. Otherwise, let's say that the trigger level is like 106.20. And then you wait for this candle to push up and close it right here, right? And then that trigger will become your stop. So it closes above. You're like, okay, I'm gonna enter. You always try to like wait for an entry closest to the pullback, and then go, or an entry on the pullback closest to the trigger, and then go. I don't know if I explained that as well as I should have. But basically, yeah, you want to wait for the 5-minute candles to close above or below. Let me look at one of those voids from today. Okay, so Twitter. Yeah, so see, Twitter was a long over. This was a long over 44. Right? This was a void because this candle, the body of this candle never closed above the trigger. Like these wicks will be the death of you. So now if I was looking at the 1-minute chart, I could see like, okay, starting to push up. I mean, if you want to trade, you could see that. So if you wanted to trade off of the 1-minute chart, you could have entered like right at the bottom here and then just rode it up to 44 and then sold. But yeah, but looking at this on the 1-minute chart, like that was a clear, like, okay, this thing's not going to break through. I mean, these candles right here, you can see they just started like losing steam. So you don't want to take a trade if the candle's closing below. And that's just like the most basic way that I can describe this. If you trade for a longer amount of time, or if you have traded for a longer amount of time and you're familiar with price action and candles and volume, and you have like indicators that you like to use intraday, uh, then by all means, enter on your own trigger levels. My areas are just like major lines of support and resistance, and I say wait for the 5 minute candle to close above or below because that's really your confirmation, right? Otherwise, you're entering this thing at this wick, and then the next candle comes all the way back down. So, um, yeah, if you're a newer trader, definitely wait for the bodies to close above or below the trigger. Uh, if you are more familiar with trading, have at it, whatever your style is. Do I buy an in the money option? Yes. I posted. Eric, check out the main chat room. I posted about that. I answered. I don't know who asked the question. I answered somebody earlier. Usually play a stock more than $100. Oh, Tilray? Yeah, with ACB announcing earnings and completely falling. It was just so hyped up and it came right back down. I haven't even looked at Tilray. Oh, $100 call on Tilray. Um, you might be better off buying. You might be better off buying 300 calls for BYND there, Zach. All right, guys, I'm off. I will see you at. I'll see you tomorrow morning for the for some live trading.